Welcome back everybody to another video. In this video I'm going to touch base on your Marantz or Denon's ampersand and your subwoofer crossovers, because most AVRs, the lowest crossover you can set it to for your sub is 80 Hertz. And are you missing out if for other AVRs out there you can go all the way down to 40 Hertz? So I'm going to touch base on that. But before I do, let's talk about your ampersand. So for those who are running 5.2.2, 5.2.4, which is basically your 5 bed layers, your main speakers, that's ear level, and then your 0.2, 0.2, your last 0.2 or 0.4, your Atmos channels, height speakers. So if you take 5, for me, I'm running 5.2.2, so that's 7 channels, right? So you would think you would go to like 9. And if you're running 5.2.4, you think, well, that's a 9 channel, you would go to 9 channels, right? Whether you're biamping or not. But really, you want to assign your mode. It'll work on your 9 channels if you're running that. But realistically, the best way to run that is to assign your mode to 11 channels, even though you're only running 7 channels. So, like say for me, for instance, 5.2.2, that's 7, that's 5 ear level speakers, and then I'm running 2 Atmos speakers, and then running 2 subs. So that's 7, but I'm just assigning to 11.1. So that's the correct way to run your 5.2.2 or your 5.2.4. Now, on to the 80 Hertz crossover settings for your subs. I know a lot of AVRs out there, your minimum is 80 Hertz. So basically, that's the standard, but are you missing out since you can't go below 80? So I have other processors and AVRs that both can go down to 40 Hertz. And let me just tell you that even though they sound good and all, and they still thump and make noise, from my personal experience, I found that roughly around 70 to 80 Hertz, depending on the brand, for your crossover settings is ideal. I lean more towards 80 Hertz crossovers for your subs. 70 is good, but I actually preferably prefer 80 Hertz, which is good because a lot of the main receivers out there can go below 80 Hertz anyway. So basically, you're not missing out if your AVR can go below 80 Hertz crossover on your AVRs. And then I'm assuming that on your power subwoofer dial, you have that dial crossover to at least 80 Hertz when you do that. So, like I said, from my findings, as good as my bookshelf speakers are, as good as my tower speakers are, and as good as my setup is, processors and AVRs, realistically, I'll put this to rest for you guys. We'll put this to bed for you guys. For crossover settings for your subwoofer on your AVR or processor, 80 Hertz to me, from my personal experience, is probably the best. And if it's not the best, it is enough. So sometimes I like to run 70 Hertz, but ideally 80 Hertz to my ears sounds just right and good enough. It sounds better to me than 40, 50, 60, 70. So that, just want to make this quick video for the crossover settings for the sub and the correct way to ampersand your settings for your Marantz or Denons out there. So pretty much that pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. Please subscribe for more. Comment below for any questions. Keep it friendly. But until next time, thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hooded Dragons out.